Evil Forces, Walden. Author, Angelica Mc Crann, known as Endless_Story 123. Chapter 1 Experiment of Success. In the cool, crisp air of an unassuming day in 1974, a flicker of excitement danced in the corners of the lab where Stella and Mr. Techno worked tirelessly. They were on the cusp of what they hoped would be a revolutionary breakthrough in experimental science, igniting the potential for human enhancement, an ambition that bloomed brightly but felt ever so distant. Stella. Mr. Techno's voice echoed through the lab, a note of enthusiasm lacing the air as he adjusted the myriad of wires and tubes sprawling across their cluttered table. This time we've got it. I can feel it. Stella rolled her eyes, leaning back in her chair, her long fingers tapping impatiently against the wooden desk. The more they tried, the further they seemed to stray from success. The experimental serum, intended to amplify human capability, was proving as elusive as the fabled elixir of life. I tried a ton of experiments, and now I don't even understand why we can't make it work, she exclaimed, her voice cracking under the weight of frustration. Maybe you should take a rest now, suggested Brunhild, another scientist and Stella's closest ally, her tone soothing as she stepped in to calm the turmoil swelling in Stella's chest. I am so disappointed. Stella snapped, feeling as if the walls were closing in. Why does this keep happening? Don't tell me I picked the wrong scientist like you. Brunhild, surprisingly unfazed, smiled subtly. You need a minute to collect yourself. I can prove to you that I'm one of the best scientists you'll ever see. You won't regret it. You won't feel guilty about bringing me in, just give me a chance. That suggestion gave Stella a moment's pause. Just make sure that I won't be wrong to declare you my assistant in Barth's first experiment project. It's a monumental task for us both. All we need is to be cautious. We should prioritize safety if we're going to test this and not endanger our children, Brunhild replied, her practicality a salve to Stella's growing agitation. Stella sighed, glancing around the room. I want something more than just another mediocre outcome. Don't you see? We have the potential to transcend what normal doctors offer. Even if we don't know if this will heal the body. It will. Stella retorted sharply, a fire igniting in her eyes. She paused, then softened slightly. You only have to do as I say, and I say, we are going to continue this experiment. Do you understand? I understand, Mrs. Stella, Brunhild replied, nodding solemnly, though uncertainty flickered across her face. While Brunhild resumed her diligent work on the experiment, Stella retreated to her quarters, seeking solace from the bitter sting of failure. Under the dim light of her lamp, she poured herself a glass of whiskey, hoping the warmth of the drink would chase away her frustrations. The rich amber liquid glimmered invitingly as Mr. Techno's footsteps echoed down the hallway. You don't have to be so intense about this. Worrying won't solve anything, he said, leaning against her doorframe, an attempt to coax her from her melancholy. I've worked so hard, Stella said, taking a delicate sip from her glass, the liquid swirling like her thoughts. I just want to let you know how much I want this to succeed. His expression softened as he joined her, enveloping her in an embrace. I understand completely. It takes time for us to develop this groundbreaking project. But let's celebrate. Caligula is born, after all. We can focus on our family. Stella looked into his eyes, and a hint of warmth filled the icy void of her ambition. I want another child, one who embodies our dreams. A smile spread across Mr. Techno's face. I agree. I envision a future where our children carry forth the legacy of our discoveries, he replied, excitement bubbling beneath the surface. Stella leaned closer. Just imagine, our offspring, learning faster and growing stronger, armed with powers that could reshape the world. They could eliminate the barriers that hold us back. Yes, Mr. Techno breathed, his gaze steady. Together, we can create our own legacy. With that thought lingering, they kissed, their lips finding each other amid the swirling ambitions that bound them. In that moment, the lab's failures faded to a distant echo, eclipsed by a shared dream of a new generation cradled in their embrace, children who could change not only their lives but also the entire fabric of humanity itself. The year was 1978, and the air in Dr. Stella's lab crackled with an electric energy that matched the excitement in her chest. After months of tireless experimentation, she and her partner, Mr. Techno, had successfully completed their healing project, a revolutionary treatment that promised to heal injuries at an astonishing rate. "Oh. This is successfully finished," she declared, her voice filled with elation as she scanned the blinking lights and whirring machines that surrounded her. "I told you that you could finish that," Mr. Techno replied with a proud grin, adjusting his glasses. He stepped closer to the monitor displaying their results. "We are going to change the world, Stella. I want our children to learn how to harness this power. They will be more than human." Stella nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. "Yes. Imagine them learning to experiment with these technologies. They'll be able to develop their own powers and become leaders of the future." As they celebrated their success, however, the shadows of their ambitions loomed large. They were aware of the dangers posed by increasing power, especially in a world where Caligula, their 5-year-old daughter, was rapidly developing unusual skills. "Have you noticed what Caligula can do?" Mr. Techno asked, his expression turning serious. "What do you mean?" Stella looked at him quizzically. "I think she's learning faster than we anticipated," he said. "I've monitored her skills, and she's developed something I can only describe as dark powers." "Dark powers?" Stella echoed, concern threading into her tone. "We need to keep an eye on her. She might be special, but we can't let that consume her." Meanwhile, Brunhild, their assistant, was training Caligula tirelessly outside the lab, observing her keen abilities with a mix of admiration and trepidation. "You're learning so fast, I'm impressed," she praised. Caligula's eyes sparkled with determination as she focused on the task of shooting cans with precision, a skill that belied her young age. Caligula turned to Brunhild. "I don't want to watch TV, it's boring. Teach me more." Brunhild chuckled, knowing the girl needed balance. "Just for today, you should rest. Learning takes energy." As they returned to the lab, Stella was busy reviewing the outcomes of their recent tests. "Caligula, promise me you'll work hard," she said, embracing her daughter with pride. "You'll need to be a strong leader. I want you to understand the essence of science when you grow up." Caligula nodded, her little face serious. "I promise I will protect my brothers and sisters." But beneath the surface, uncertainty simmered. Stella knew the weight of expectation could crush even the most talented among them. "I love you very much," she murmured, kissing her daughter's forehead. "I love you too," Caligula replied, her earnestness both charming and worrisome. Outside, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. Mr. Techno approached Brunhild with an urgent request. "We need to prepare for our next phase. Stella's going to have another child, and I want to ensure that this one is stronger. We can't wait any longer." "I'm not sure if that's wise," she said hesitantly. "You know there are risks involved with." "I don't care," he snapped, frustration leaking into his words. "We have the means, and I expect you to proceed with the experiment. Inject Stella with the enhancement serum we prepared." "What about Mayor Flendale?" "He wants to stop us." Brunhild protested, recalling the unease in the air regarding their experiments. "Flendale isn't our problem, the future of our family is." Mr. Techno's voice dropped to a whisper as he added, "And we need to ensure our legacy is powerful. We cannot let emotions stand in our way." Brunhild hesitated, aware of the ethical implications of their work. "But the risks? They are necessary." "You must go to Stella now," he demanded, tension making his tone sharp as he walked away, leaving her conflicted. Inside the lab, Stella continued to work, deep in thought about the future they were shaping. She wanted to heal, to uplift, but ambition was a dangerous drug. Just then, she accidentally cut her hand on a sharp corner of the lab bench. Blood dripped onto her notes, staining the future she envisioned. Without thinking, she reached for the healing project device, just one test, she told herself. The glow of the machine seemed to call to her. With a quick press of a button, the device buzzed to life. It engulfed her hand in light. As the healing effects kicked in, she felt an odd energy surge through her, a whisper of the very power she had sought to harness for her children. But instead of feeling better, the pain in her hand became a wave that coursed through her body, leaving her stunned. Mr. Techno and Brunhild rushed in, alarmed by the sudden light and noise. "Stella!" Brunhild gasped, witnessing the phenomenon. "What did you do?" Mr. Techno shouted, confusion and fear flashing across his face. As the energy pulsed and surged, Stella realized she stood at a precipice, her ambition turned perilous, reflecting the darkness that lurked within their discoveries. In her pursuit to empower her family, she had strayed dangerously close to the edge of a world she may not be able to control. In that moment of reckoning, she understood the true meaning of power. It could heal, but it could also destroy. They had opened a door that now required a heavy toll, and the future of their family hung in the balance. In the autumn of 1980, war raged outside the fortified walls of the research compound. Within its sterile confines, scientists and medical personnel engaged in a desperate quest to save lives and discover new forms of healing. Among them were Caligula, Brunhild, and Vince, each caught in the crosshairs between morality and scientific ambition. Brunhild often felt like a lone guardian in a fortress of chaos. As a lead researcher on a controversial healing project, she often warned her colleagues about the potential moral and ethical consequences of their experiments. She knew that the healing syringe, which had shown promise in preliminary trials, also harbored unknown risks. Caligula and Vince, however, were swept away by the allure of progress. "You don't need to help me here. It's a big mess outside, and you shouldn't be here," Brunhild said anxiously, hands trembling slightly as she reviewed their latest findings. "You don't need to lecture me, Hilda," Caligula replied, adjusting her spectacles with a determined glint in her eyes. "We are not idiots, and experimenting with human subjects is super easy." Her youthful fervor shone through her cocky demeanor. "I know that's what your mother taught you," Brunhild countered, "but you should know that experimenting on yourself, or on others, could have dire consequences." Vince, attempting to mediate, added, "But you don't need to be afraid. If we learn to harness the healing properties, we could save countless lives." Brunhild sighed, frustration flooding her. "Do you even love what you're doing? It seems all you care about is pushing boundaries." "Why do you ask that?" Vince inquired, genuinely surprised. "I just think you should be cautious," she replied, her voice softer. "We're playing with something far beyond our understanding." Before they could continue the debate, the laboratory doors burst open, and Stella stumbled inside, her face pale and streaked with dirt and blood. Panic surged through Brunhild as she recognized the urgency in Stella's wide eyes. "What happened?" Brunhild rushed toward her. Stella's right arm was missing entirely, and her skin was a sickly shade of gray. "I should have stayed back, but I couldn't," Stella gasped, trembling. "Help me, please. I'm losing too much blood." Brunhild's heart ached. "But your due date is today. What about your baby?" Stella's breath hitched. "Before my baby comes, I need you to act fast. Someone injected me with painkillers so I could save my husband. I just need respite from this blood loss, please." Brunhild hesitated. "I don't know much about on-the-spot procedures outside of our trials. We could try the approved syringes, but..." Stella clawed at her own resolve. "Don't worry about me. Just help me." In moments, she was clambering to her feet, desperate to find her own solution. As Brunhild tried to assess the situation, Stella disappeared into the shadows of the lab, rummaging through cabinets. A surge of powerlessness washed over Brunhild as she watched her friend, barely holding hers together. Stella returned, a vengeful fire in her eyes, clutching a vial containing a green, viscous fluid. "This, I heard about it. It's supposed to regenerate skin. I'm taking it." "Stella, wait. You don't know the ramifications." Brunhild pleaded, but Stella, resolute and desperate, thrust the syringe into her neck. Dizziness washed over Stella almost immediately, and she stumbled. But then, to their astonishment, they witnessed her left hand swelling as it began to reform. Brunhild gasped in disbelief. "What did you just do, Stella?" she asked, a mix of horror and awe resonating in her voice. "I injected it," Stella declared, breathless but strong. "I knew it would work. I can feel the strength returning." "But that's dangerous," Brunhild warned. "You're playing with forces beyond your control. Regeneration injections like that are only tested on subjects with severe diseases." Vince stepped forward, eyeing the spectacle with trepidation. "Is this safe, Brunhild? Can we be sure of any side effects?" As Stella's hand fully reformed, she flexed her fingers with a giddy laugh, almost euphoric. "I feel incredible. It's like I can take on." A sudden shudder rippled through the lab, and Stella froze, clutching her head. "What's happening to me?" she gasped, panic flashing in her eyes. Brunhild stepped closer, her heart racing. "It might be the side effects." Suddenly, Stella collapsed. A moment passed where time stood still. Brunhild rushed to her side, breath hitching in her throat. Just as suddenly, Stella's body jerked violently. Her newly formed hand twitched and warped beyond control, as if the body did not know what to do with the healing energy that raced through it. "What have we done?" Caligula whispered, horror etched across his face. Brunhild felt dread unfurling in her gut. "We have to stop this. We must try the approved injections." As she shouted an order, they could only watch helplessly, the consequences of their ambition crashing down like a tidal wave, swallowing everything they had fought for. The true battle had just begun, not against the enemy outside, but against their own relentless pursuit of healing that had transformed into an unimaginable weapon. "Oh no, that's not the end," she whispered, fearing the worst. With a shaky resolve, she shouted for the nurses. The metallic clang of emergency bells echoed down the corridor as they wheeled Stella away, urgency suffusing the air. Moments stretched like hours until Mr. Techno, a towering figure with an air of both charisma and menace, burst into the lab. "What happened to my wife?" His voice was a blade, sharp and filled with worry. "She's been taken to the infirmary." Brunhild's voice trembled as she continued, "The nurses say she's having a healthy baby girl." Relief washed over Mr. Techno's face as he hurried towards the infirmary. In the sterile, white room where a cacophony of monitors beeped rhythmically, he found Stella cradling a small bundle wrapped in a blanket. Suspended in time, their eyes met, and the tension of the world outside evaporated. "I thought I was going to die in there," Stella gasped, holding back tears. "But I managed to stabilize the serum just in time." She looked fondly at the baby. "I think she'll have a future unlike anything we can imagine." Mr. Techno grinned despite the threat of danger surrounding them. "What will we call her?" he asked, the warmth between them momentarily dispelling the chill of their surroundings. "I was thinking, Gertrude," Stella said, her voice softening as she gazed at the tiny face peeking out from the blanket. "Gertrude," he echoed, the name striking a chord deep in his heart. Strong and wise, just like her mother. As the couple shared a moment of joy, the weight of their past loomed close, every experiment, every unethical choice made for the sake of scientific progress. They had used human subjects, had skirted the shadows of morality in pursuit of knowledge, all in hopes of creating something extraordinary. In the cavernous underground laboratory of the Evil Forces Coalition, the air buzzed with excitement. A rainbow of colored lights sparked from various machines lined up along the walls, their high-pitched whirs and beeps blending into an electronic symphony. At the center stood Stella, brilliant scientist and their fearless leader, basking in the glow of her latest success. "This was all by your help," Stella announced, her voice cutting through the noise. "Because you have all been supporting this second successful experiment, we understand we can't just process what we want, and as we age, we get sick. But this..." She paused, her eyes glittering with ambition. "This will turn us younger." The crowd erupted into applause, evil soldiers and scientists alike celebrating alongside their hope-laden leader. Laughter filled the air as Stella's husband, Mr. Techno, flashed a proud smile. His wiry frame stiffened momentarily, then relaxed into an expression of admiration as Stella prepared to bestow a kiss upon him, a fitting reward for their loyal partnership. Just then, Ace, a fellow scientist and longtime supporter of Stella's ambitions, pushed through the throng, his face alight with pride. "You see, I couldn't say anything else," he proclaimed. "I just want to thank you for today's success. I can't believe you pulled it off. Now our troops will have the confidence to use this serum." "I knew you would be proud of me," Stella purred, pleased the weight of the experiment's success resonated within their ranks. "With the efforts of my husband, of course, I could only achieve this with extreme dedication." "Absolutely. You are the greatest leader among the main scientists." Ace echoed her enthusiasm. "And Mr. Techno's leadership has been essential." Stella smiled, enjoying their camaraderie. "And did you notice Vince? Your daughter has improved tremendously. She is stronger than I expected." Ace beamed, his chest swelling with pride at the mention of his child. "Thank you, Stella. It means a lot to me that you've recognized her progress." But just as the mood lightened, a shadow crossed Stella's face. "However, I am having a small problem. It's about my troops. I swear, they don't learn to fight. I think someone needs to command them." Ace raised an eyebrow thoughtfully. "I think I can help with that. Our children have the potential, and while I'm training my other kids, I have great hopes for Caligula. She's been training hard. Yes, she's shown remarkable ability. I can see that her skills could rival some of our best troops." Stella's admiration blossomed. "That's why I'm so proud of her. She has the strength to rise through the ranks and become a formidable commander." Mr. Techno, stepping forward, wondered out loud, "Do you really think she'll learn quickly enough? My daughter and her friends are eager, but I've noticed how easily they can be distracted. Of all people, I've seen the raw talent within our kids." "You have to trust in their training," Stella reassured them, her voice filled with conviction. "Between our collective dedication and the plans we outline before them, they will learn." With a shared sense of camaraderie, the trio raised their glasses for a toast. "To our experiments," Stella declared, her vibrant energy captivating everyone nearby. "To new beginnings. And to lower troops who are soon to be empowered. May our youthfulness illuminate this path of evil." Ace added, enthusiasm dancing in his eyes. "And to the power of innovation," Mr. Techno chimed in, their glasses clinking together, vibrant and strengthened by their united mission. As they sipped, the bubbling excitement surged like a current, dancing amidst the test tubes and vials that swirled with brilliant colors, green, blue, and shimmering gold. The potion had been synthesized, a serum not only formulated to restore youth but also unlock hidden potential dormant within their legion of brawn and brains. But as the jubilance consumed the company, a lingering thought crept at the edges of Stella's mind. What would happen when their army grew young again, empowered yet untamed? In their euphoric future, she wrestled with the shadows of doubt. Would they remain loyal? Would the new power shift the balance? For now, the room was filled with laughter and hope. Outside, the rhythmic hum of the world continued, but within the walls of the lab, the evil forces coalition stood united, ready to unleash a tide of rejuvenated might. In the chaos of the city, shadows danced under the flickering streetlights as sirens wailed in the distance. Flendale, a man of power yet riddled with frustration, stormed through the remnants of his office, his bodyguards trailing behind him like reluctant shadows. The air was thick with the scent of smoke and panic, remnants of an attack that had left the city reeling. He stopped abruptly, surveying the chaos that greeted him, papers strewn across the floor, chairs toppled, and the remnants of his once orderly world lay in disarray. "This is a disaster," he bellowed, throwing a stack of files against the wall, the sound echoing like thunder. Inwardly, he felt the familiar surge of anger, a wave rising from the depths of his frustration. "We tried everything we could, sir," one of the bodyguards interjected, desperation etched on his face. "But hostages are still being taken. We're working with limited resources." Flendale's eyes flashed. I can't believe this is happening again. This clumsy agency can't do anything right. Are you all incompetent? His fist slammed onto the table, leaving a dent in its polished surface. The urgency of the attack had rattled him, stripping away the composed exterior he usually projected as the mayor of their city. We tried to convince them, but you're going to fail me again. Flandale shouted, his voice rising in pitch. I can't trust you, not anymore. You're all just spinning your wheels. What do you want me to do now? The bodyguard asked, hands raised in surrender. Get out of my office. Now. Flandale barked, and the bodyguard backpedaled, a cascade of footsteps retreating down the corridor. Alone at last, Flandale reached for his phone, hands trembling slightly as he dialed the captain of the task force. Emily, who led the front line against these evil forces, needed to act faster. Emily, I'm calling you again. I want you to invade the evil forces. They're kidnapping civilians as we speak, and if you don't do anything, I will make sure to take down your entire team. Mr. Mayor, relax. We're always doing our best here. I think we can handle it, Emily replied, the calmness in her voice irking him further. Make sure this time you do. He hung up, jaw clenched, jaw pulsing with frustration. The city was in turmoil, and he could feel the weight of the lives at stake pressing down on him. As darkness enveloped the city, Gertrude, the only rookie in the special forces, was still training, determined to prove herself. In the quiet training grounds, she focused on a row of cans, the goal seemingly so simple. Each piece of metal became a goal she could conquer. As she fired, the bullets found their marks with precision, echoing through the empty night. Next, she picked up her throwing knives, a set she had practiced with tirelessly. With each throw, she felt the thrill of victory, knives struck dead center into the wooden target, one after another. Tonight, the chaos of the city could not reach her within these walls of determination. If the city was to survive the days of darkness looming ahead, it would take every strong will and every ounce of courage from people like her. With the threats outside growing more menacing, she combated uncertainty with determination, a silent promise to not let her city down. In the cracked silence of the night, every throw, every shot, echoed hope that maybe, just maybe, they could overcome the chaos that enveloped their world. Flandale could rage, but Gertrude would stand ready, a warrior in the shadows, prepared to face whatever horror came next. In the dim glow of the hideout's flickering lights, the air hummed with fatigue. After weeks of intense training designed to prepare the young recruits of Project Walden for an uncertain future, the kids were finally allowed a moment of tranquility. The soft pattering of rain against the metal walls was a comforting soundtrack as Gertrude sank onto her cot, her body aching from the grueling exercises and relentless drills. Why do we keep doing this? She murmured to herself, staring at the ceiling above. The only answer was the distant echoes of her comrades in slumber. Suddenly, the door creaked open, and Brunhild slipped into the room, her presence casting a warm glow over the cold metal space. Brunhild had always been a source of strength for Gertrude, a kindred spirit in this world where purpose and boredom coexisted in uneasy harmony. Come on, Gertrude, Brunhild said, her voice low, you need to get some rest. As they entered the small, cramped quarters, Gertrude's gaze was drawn to the other cot where Gertrude's friend sat slouched, exhaustion painted across her features. You look terrible, Gertrude said softly. Brunhild chuckled lightly. And you look like you could use a little excitement. But why? Why are we stuck in this place, training all day? Gertrude's voice held a note of desperation. Brunhild sighed, her expression turning serious. Because we have to protect ourselves. Your parents made sure we understood the stakes, even if I don't always agree with it. Gertrude's brow furrowed. But I'm so bored. It's just training, over and over. I feel like I'm stuck in a loop. Brunhild leaned closer, her eyes sparkling with mischief. Don't worry, Gertrude. You won't always be bored. I snuck out earlier. Her voice dropped to a conspiratorial whisper, I have a gift for you. Gertrude's eyes widened. What is it? Brunhild rummaged through her bag and pulled out 4 books, each beautifully worn from use, a dictionary, world maps, information about animals, and a mystery novel. Along with them was a scruffy-looking teddy bear. "Here, I thought you might want something beyond training." "But how?" Gertrude asked, awe evident in her voice. "How did you get all of this?" "I had to, as unusual as it sounds, steal from a bookstore," Brunhild replied, a hint of pride in her tone. Then her expression turned serious. "I did it for a reason. You deserve to learn things beyond just training. I believe you can be more, Gertrude." "Like, learning the ABCD?" Gertrude ventured, her mind racing with possibilities. "Much more than just letters." "I'll be your teacher, I'll help you," Brunhild promised. "Understand?" Gertrude's hope filled the room, and Brunhild grinned. "Understood," she reaffirmed as they shared a heartfelt hug, a bond solidified in that moment. "I want to be there with you during experiments too," Gertrude said, her enthusiasm palpable. "No, not right now. There are too many rules. Being a Walden is harder than you realize." "You have to be responsible," Brunhild answered gently, yet firmly. "I know. Thank you for always being there," Gertrude replied, her heart swelling with gratitude. Brunhild nodded. "Now, you need to rest, and I do too. I have lots of experiments to run tomorrow. Good night." "Good night," Gertrude echoed, clutching the books and teddy bear tight, feeling for the first time a spark of hope amidst the monotony. As she closed her eyes, the rain continued to fall, each drop a reminder that even within these walls, life, adventure, knowledge, and friendship was waiting just beyond.